I spent 9 years fixing everything for her family. Paid the bills, raised her kids, planned our dream vacation. Then, 4 days before we left, she replaced me with their real dad on the trip I funded. So I cut off the money. What I discovered next made that betrayal look like nothing. My name is Blake Harrington. I'm 45 years old, and I own Harrington Auto Body in Akron, Ohio. Not a fancy operation, just me and two guys fixing collision damage and doing paint work. Honest business. Pays the bills. More than pays them, actually, which turned out to be part of the problem. I met Bridget Ramsey 9 years ago at a hardware store. She was picking out paint for her kitchen, looking lost among the swatches. I helped her choose. She had this way of smiling that made you want to keep helping. Two kids from a previous relationship, she said. Kyle was 16 then, Brianna 14. Their father Craig wasn't in the picture much. Child support when he remembered. Phone calls on birthdays if he wasn't too busy selling cars. I didn't mind stepping in. Good kids deserve stability. Bridget worked as a store manager at a regional clothing chain, decent job, but retail hours meant tight budgets. When her transmission died, 3 months into us dating, I fixed it. When Kyle needed help with his first car, I taught him. When Brianna's prom dress cost more than Bridget had budgeted, I covered it without being asked. That became the pattern. Me fixing things. Me covering things. Me being the steady one while Bridget managed her chaos and Craig drifted in and out like weather. We moved in together after 2 years. Her place, technically, a 3-bedroom rental in North Hill. But I paid for everything. Rent, utilities, groceries, insurance. Put Kyle through community college. Helped Brianna with nursing school. My shop was doing well, and what's money for if not taking care of people you love? The trip was supposed to be a celebration. 9 years together, Kyle and Brianna both graduated and working. Finally time for us. I'd been planning it for months. Smoky Mountains, cabin rental, hiking, just us and the kids for a week. Reconnect as a family. I'd prepaid everything. $1,500 for the cabin, another $1,000 for food and activities. Used my credit card because Bridget's was still recovering from some medical bills I'd helped her clear last year. 3 days before we were supposed to leave, Bridget came into my shop during lunch. That should have been the first warning. She never came to the shop during work hours. Said the paint fumes gave her headaches. I was under a Honda Civic, replacing a bumper bracket, when I heard her voice. Blake, you got a minute? I rolled out on the creeper, wiped my hands on a rag. She stood there in her store manager outfit, navy blazer and khakis, looking anywhere but at me. What's up? I asked, standing. Everything okay? She shifted her weight. We need to talk about the trip. Something cold settled in my stomach. What about it? The kids and I have been discussing it. She picked at her fingernails. We think it might be better if Craig came instead. The words didn't land right at first. Like when you're expecting one thing and get another, and your brain needs a second to catch up. Instead of me? She finally looked at me. They want time with their real dad, Blake. You understand, right? It's nothing against you. You've been wonderful. But Craig, he's their father. Real dad. Those 2 words did something to my chest. Like all the air went out of the room at once. I rebuilt Kyle's engine when it seized. Taught him to change oil, replace brakes, read a timing belt. I'd sat through Brianna's nursing school graduation when Craig was in Columbus closing car deal. I'd been the one up at 2 in the morning when she called crying about a difficult patient. Real dad. When did you all decide this? My voice came out flat. Last week. We were going to tell you sooner, but last week. The cabin was booked 4 months ago. The time off approved at my shop 3 months back. Everything in my name because Bridget's credit couldn't handle the deposits. Bridget took a step forward. Don't make this difficult, Blake. You know how important family is. Craig wants to try. This could be good for everyone. Good for everyone. I looked at her, really looked. Saw something I'd been missing. Not guilt. Not sadness. Just the practical calculation of someone managing an inconvenient situation. Okay, I said. She blinked. Okay. Yeah. You should go. Have a good time. Tell the kids I hope they enjoy it. Blake. I need to get back to work, Bridget. Customers picking up this Honda at 3. She stood there for another moment, maybe expecting an argument. When I didn't give her one, she left. Through the shop window, I watched her get into her Camry. The one I'd repaired last month when someone backed into her in the store parking lot. Body work, paint matching, new taillight assembly. $1,800 I never asked her to repay. My assistant Danny came over after she left. Boss, you okay? You look like someone died. I'm fine. Just got some things to think about. That night, I didn't go home right away. Drove around Akron for 2 hours. Past the high school where I'd watched Kyle play football. Past the hospital where Brianna worked. Past the store where Bridget managed her team. Past 9 years of my life invested in people who just told me I wasn't real family. When I finally pulled into the driveway at midnight, the house was dark. Bridget asleep. I sat in my truck for 20 minutes, engine off, watching my breath fog the windshield. Then I started making a list. The list took 3 hours to write. I sat at the kitchen table with a pen and legal pad, going through 9 years of financial records on my phone. Bank statements, credit card bills, receipts I'd saved for taxes, every deposit I'd made, every expense I'd covered, every time I'd been the solution to someone else's problem. Joint checking account. Opened it 6 years ago when Bridget said it would make things simpler. I was the only one making deposits. Her paychecks went to her personal account for her expenses. Mine went to joint for our expenses. Except our expenses were everything. Rent, utilities, groceries, insurance, car payments, medical bills. I wrote it all down. Column after column of numbers that told a story I'd been too busy living to see clearly. Bridget's alarm went off at 6:30. I heard her shower, get dressed, move around the bedroom. She came into the kitchen wearing her work clothes, stopped when she saw me still at the table. "Did you sleep?" she asked. "Not much." She poured coffee, added creamer. "Blake, about yesterday. I know it was sudden, but when does Craig arrive?" I kept my eyes on the legal pad. "Friday morning. We're leaving at 8. 2 days. And the cabin reservation is under my name. We thought you could call and transfer it to Craig's name. Or just let us use it. It's already paid for." I looked up at her then. She stood by the counter, coffee cup in both hands, waiting for me to be reasonable. To make this easy for her, "You replaced me with their real dad on a trip I paid for," I said. Kept my voice level. "That's what happened here, right? Let me make sure I understand." Her jaw tightened. "Don't make it sound like that." "How should it sound?" "Blake, you're being difficult. The kids want time with their father. This isn't about you. It's entirely about me. I planned it, paid for it, took time off work. And 4 days before we leave, you tell me I'm being replaced by a man who's barely been in their lives for the past 9 years. He's trying now. That should count for something. And what do I get for the 9 years I've been here?" She set her coffee down hard. Liquid sloshed over the rim. "You get to be the good guy who helped. Isn't that enough? The good guy who helped. Like I was a neighbor who'd given them a ride once. Not the man who'd rebuilt Kyle's engine, paid Brianna's tuition, fixed every problem that came through the door." "No," I said. "It's not enough." "What do you want, Blake? An award? We appreciate everything you've done, but I want you to go on your trip." I stood up, folded the legal pad. "Have a wonderful time with Craig. Make memories. Reconnect as a family." She blinked. "You mean that?" "Absolutely. You should leave Friday like you planned." Bridget's shoulders relaxed. "Thank you. I knew you'd understand once you thought about it. You're always so reasonable." "Reasonable." I picked up my coffee cup, rinsed it in the sink. "I need to get to the shop early today. Got some things to take care of." "Okay. I'll see you tonight. Maybe. Might work late." I left before she could say anything else. Drove to the bank on Market Street instead of the shop. They opened at 9. I was first in line. The branch manager, Todd, knew me from business deposits. Led me to his office when I said I needed to close some accounts. "Which accounts?" he asked, pulling up my records. "All of them that have her name on them. Joint checking. The credit cards where she's an authorized user. Everything shared." Todd looked at me over his reading glasses. "Mr. Harrington, are you certain? This is a significant change." "I'm certain." "How fast can you do it?" "Joint accounts can be closed today with your signature. Credit cards will take 48 hours to process the removal." "Do it. All of it. Right now." He typed, clicked, printed forms. I signed everything. Watched 9 years of financial entanglement disappear into processed paperwork. "Is there anything else?" Todd asked when we finished. I thought about the rental house, the utilities, the car insurance, the cell phone plan, all the infrastructure of shared life. "Yes," I said. "There's more." Todd printed out a checklist while I sat in his office. "Let's go through everything systematically," he said. "You want to ensure there are no loose ends." We started with the utilities. Electric, gas, water, internet. All in my name at Bridget's rental house. I called each company from Todd's desk, Gave them my account numbers. Requested disconnection effective Friday at noon. Right when they'd be loading up for the trip. Mr. Harrington, are you moving? The electric company asked. Yes, I said. Simple answer. True enough. The car insurance was next. Bridget's Camry was on my policy. So was Kyle's used Accord that I'd helped him buy 2 years ago. I called my agent, Frank, who I'd known for 15 years. Frank, I need to remove 2 vehicles from my policy. Effective immediately. Blake, what's going on? That's Bridget's car and Kyle's car. They're not my responsibility anymore. Can you do it or not? Silence. Then, I can. But Blake, if something happens and they're not insured, not my problem. Remove them. He did. I heard him typing, the reluctance in his voice. Done. Your premium will drop about $200 a month. The cell phone plan took longer. For lines. I've been paying for everyone for 7 years. The representative tried to upsell me on keeping the family plan. No, I said. Cancel 3 lines. Keep mine. I don't care about early termination fees. Sir, that's $600 in fees. Bill me. Do it now. Todd watched me work through the list. When I finished the calls, he leaned back in his chair. That's comprehensive. What about the rental house? Not in my name. That's Bridget's lease. I just pay for it. So stop paying. I will. After they leave Friday. He nodded slowly. Blake, I have to ask. You've been with Bridget 9 years. Are you absolutely certain about this? I thought about her words that morning. You get to be the good guy who helped. About being replaced 4 days before a trip I'd planned for months. About Kyle taking my tools without asking, and Brianna calling only when she needed something. I've never been more certain, I said. Back at the shop, Danny and my other mechanic, Pete, were working on a Silverado when I arrived. Danny took one look at my face and whistled low. Boss, you look like you're about to declare war. Not war. Just clarifying some things. I went to my office, pulled out a legal pad, and started making a second list. This one was different. Everything at the house that was actually mine. Tools, furniture I'd bought, the new TV, the mattress. I called my cousin James, who owned a moving company. Jimmy, I need a favor. You free Saturday morning? What's up? Need to move some things out of the house. While nobody's home. Blake, you getting divorced? I didn't know you were married. I'm not. That's the point. He laughed. I'll bring the truck. 7 a.m. work. Perfect. That evening, I came home at 9. Bridget was on the couch watching TV. She looked up when I walked in. Long day, she asked. Productive. I went to the bedroom, pulled out my suitcase from the closet, started packing clothes. She appeared in the doorway. What are you doing? Getting some things together. Going to stay at Jimmy's place for a bit. Give you folks space to prepare for your trip. Blake, you don't have to leave. We can. I want to. I folded a shirt, placed it in the suitcase. You're right. This should be about family. Your family. With Craig. I'm just in the way. That's not what I meant. Sure it is. I looked at her. It's fine, Bridget. Really. I understand now. I'm helpful. Not necessary. There's a difference. Her face hardened. You're being childish. I'm being clear. Enjoy your trip. Tell the kids I said have fun. I finished packing. Carry my suitcase to the truck. Didn't look back at the house. Didn't need to. Friday morning. They'd figure out what being helpful really meant. I woke up Friday at 5 a.m. in Jimmy's spare room. Couldn't sleep anyway. Today was the day they'd discover what I'd done. Today was the day Craig would arrive to take my place on the trip I'd funded. Today was the day Bridget would try to use a credit card that no longer worked. My phone stayed silent until 8:30. Then it started. First text from Kyle. Dude, my phone's not working. Did you forget to pay the bill? I deleted it without responding. Second text from Brianna. Blake, what's going on? My phone says service suspended. Deleted. Then Bridget called. I let it ring through to voicemail. She called again. Again. 12 times in 20 minutes. I finally answer on the 13th. Blake, what did you do? Her voice was sharp, panicked. Morning, Bridget. You folks about ready to head out? The phones don't work. Kyle tried to use the card for gas, and it was declined. What's happening? Oh, that. Yeah. I closed our joint account yesterday. Removed everyone from my credit cards, too. Seemed like the right time to separate our finances. Silence. Then, you did what? Separated our finances. You said this trip was about family. Your family. With Craig. So I figured you didn't need my money anymore either. Blake, you can't just... This is insane. We're supposed to leave in 30 minutes. Then you should leave. Craig's there, right? He can pay for things. That's what real dads do. We don't have the money for this trip right now. You know that. Not my problem anymore, Bridget. I kept my voice level calm. You made your choice Tuesday. I made mine Thursday. Seems fair. The utilities are off too. The internet, the electric, Blake, what the hell? Those were in my name. I disconnected them. The house is your lease. You'll need to set up new accounts. Shouldn't be too hard. I could hear her breathing hard on the other end. This is cruel. You're punishing us because you're angry. I'm not punishing anyone. I'm just stopping. Stopping paying for people who don't consider me real family. Stopping being useful when I'm not actually wanted. You understand the difference, right? The kids need those phones for work. Brianna needs hers for the hospital. Brianna is 23. Kyle is 25. They're adults. They can get their own phone plans. That's what adults do. Where are you? Her voice changed, became smaller. Are you at the house? Can we talk about this? I'm not at the house. I'm staying somewhere else. And no, we can't talk about this. There's nothing to talk about. Blake, please. We can work this out. Just turn everything back on, and we'll discuss it when we get back. Have a good trip, Bridget. Tell Craig I said congratulations on getting his family back. I hung up. She called back immediately. I declined it. She called again. I turned my phone off. At Jimmy's kitchen table, my cousin poured coffee and sat down across from me. That sounded intense. That was necessary. So what now? Now we go to the house like we planned. While they're scrambling to figure out their situation, we move my stuff out. Tools from the garage, furniture I bought, everything that's actually mine. Blake, you sure about this? This is pretty final. I drank my coffee. Thought about 9 years. About being told I wasn't real family 4 days before a trip I planned. About Bridget expecting me to just accept it and keep paying. Jimmy, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. She showed me. I believed her. Now I'm responding. He nodded slowly. All right then. Let's go get your stuff. We loaded the moving truck by noon. Took every tool from the garage, the furniture I'd purchased, the TV, the mattress, kitchen supplies I'd bought. Left the house stripped down to what was there when I moved in 9 years ago. The text messages started again when I turned my phone back on. 53 messages. 27 missed calls. I scrolled through them. Kyle, this is messed up, man. Brianna, I thought you cared about us. Bridget, you're making a huge mistake. I deleted them all. Blocked the numbers. Started driving toward a future that was actually mine. I spent Saturday afternoon at Jimmy's place, organizing my tools in his garage. He'd cleared out space for my equipment, the expensive Snap-on set I'd bought over the years. $15,000 worth of professional gear. Bridget never knew what it was worth. Kyle did, though. My phone stayed off until Sunday morning. When I turned it on, the messages had multiplied like weeds. 73 texts. 41 missed calls. 3 voicemails. I listened to the first voicemail. Bridget's voice, tight with panic. Blake, we're at the house. Everything's gone. Your tools, the furniture, the TV. Did someone rob us? Call me back right now. Second voicemail, Kyle. Dude, what the hell? You took everything? My tools from the garage are gone too. That's messed up. Your tools, I thought. The ones I bought you. The ones you borrowed and never returned. Third voicemail, Bridget again. Blake, I know you're getting these messages. This is childish. We need to talk about this like adults. Call me. I deleted them all. A text came through while I was holding the phone. Bridget, the landlord says you called him about the utilities. He's charging me to get them turned back on. That's $400 in deposits I don't have. How am I supposed to manage that? I stared at the message for a long moment. Thought about typing a response. Decided against it. Deleted it instead. Another text, this time from Brianna. Blake, I don't know what happened between you and Mom, but this is affecting me too. I need my phone for work. The hospital has to be able to reach me. Please. She needed her phone for work. She was 23 with a nursing job. She could afford a phone plan. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then I set the phone down. Jimmy came into the garage with 2 beers. You reading those messages? Some of them. What are they saying? That I'm childish. That I took everything. That they can't manage without me. He twisted the cap off his beer. What are you going to do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Blake, they're going to keep calling. Keep texting. Bridget knows where the shop is. Then I'll deal with it when she shows up. But I'm not responding to texts. I'm not taking calls. I said what I needed to say Friday morning. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Bridget. Kyle's tools weren't yours to take. He needs those for his job at the tire shop. You're hurting him to get back at me. I almost laughed. Kyle's tools. The complete socket set I'd bought him for Christmas 2 years ago. The impact wrench I'd given him for his birthday. The tool chest I'd helped him pick out when he got the tire shop job. I typed a response. Those tools cost me $3,200. If Kyle wants them back, he can buy them from me. Same price I paid. Sent it. Then blocked all 3 numbers again. Jimmy watched me. You really going through with this? No contact at all. They made their choice. I'm making mine. They wanted Craig to be the dad. Let Craig handle the consequences. What if they can't afford to get the utilities back on? What if they're struggling? I drank my beer. Jimmy, 9 years I've been preventing them from struggling. 9 years of fixing every problem, covering every shortfall. You know what that got me? Replaced on a vacation I planned. Told I'm not real family. I'm done preventing consequences for people who don't value me. He nodded slowly. Fair enough. Monday morning, I went back to work at the shop. Normal routine. Normal schedule. Danny and Pete didn't ask questions. Just got to work on the vehicles in the bay. At 10:15, Bridget's car pulled into the parking lot. I watched her through the office window. She sat in her Camry for 5 minutes before getting out. Walked toward the shop slowly, like she was approaching something dangerous. Danny saw her first. Boss, you got a visitor. I see her. Wanting to tell her you're busy. No. Let her come in. This needs to happen. Bridget stepped into the shop. Looked around like she'd never been there before. Found me standing by the office door. Blake, we need to talk. Do we? Yes. About everything you did. About the money, the utilities, taking all your stuff. What about it? Her expression hardened. You can't just cut us off like that. We have bills. Responsibilities. So do I. And my responsibility isn't funding your life anymore. We were together 9 years. Were. Past tense. You ended it when you replaced me with Craig. She stepped closer, lowered her voice. I made a mistake, okay? The kids realized it too. Craig left the second day, just like he always does. There it was. The real reason she was here. Craig left, I said. Kept my voice flat, unemotional. And now you need me again. Bridget's jaw tightened. It's not like that. It's exactly like that. Craig lasted 2 days before doing what Craig always does. And now you're here because the utilities are off and the bills are due and I'm useful again. Blake, please. Can we just talk about this somewhere private? No. Say what you came to say right here. She glanced at Danny and Pete, who were very obviously pretending not to listen. Fine. You made your point. You're angry. I get it. But you can't just abandon us like this. Kyle needs his tools for work. Brianna needs her phone. I need help with the utility deposits. Kyle is 25. He can buy his own tools or rent them from the shop. Brianna is 23 and makes decent money as a nurse. She can afford a phone plan. And you make $45,000 a year managing that store. You can afford utility deposits. That's not fair. You know my money goes to. Your money goes to whatever you spend it on. That's not my business anymore. We can't afford to live without your help. I let that sit in the air between us. Bridget, you've been living without my help for 9 years. You just had me paying for everything while you pretended it was a partnership. That's not true. I contributed. How? Show me. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app. Here's 9 years of deposits into our joint account. Every single one from me. Now show me yours. She couldn't. We both knew she couldn't. I gave you my time, she said quietly. My presence. That counts for something. Your presence while planning to replace me with Craig. That's what it counted for. Her eyes filled with tears. Real ones, maybe. Blake, I'm sorry. I was wrong. The kids were wrong. We see that now. Can we please just fix this? There's nothing to fix. It's over. Over. Just like that. 9 years, and you're throwing it away because of one mistake. One mistake. I felt something cold settle in my chest. You didn't accidentally tell me about Craig coming instead of me. You planned it. Discussed it with the kids. Made a family decision that specifically excluded me. That wasn't a mistake, Bridget. That was a choice. People make bad choices. People deserve second chances. People deserve what they've earned. You earned this. She stepped forward, her voice dropping. Blake, I need you. The kids need you. Please don't do this. You don't need me. You need my money. There's a difference. And I'm done pretending otherwise. So that's it. You're just going to let us struggle. You're going to learn to manage. Like adults do. like I've been doing my whole life. She stared at me for a long moment. The tears dried up. Her expression went cold. You're going to regret this. Maybe. But I doubt it. The kids will never forgive you. They weren't my kids to begin with. You made that very clear. Bridget turned and walked out, got in her Camry, and drove away. Through the shop window, I watched her go. Danny came over after she left. Boss, you okay? I'm fine. That looked rough. That was necessary. I went back to the office, pulled out my laptop, and did something I should have done years ago. Started looking for my own place. Small apartment, maybe a house if I could find one. Something that was mine. Just mine. My phone buzzed. Text from a number I didn't recognize. This is Kyle. Mom gave me a friend's phone. You're really not going to help us at all. I typed back. You're 25 with a job. You don't need help. You need to figure things out yourself. After everything we've been to each other. We weren't anything to each other, Kyle. I was your mom's boyfriend who paid for things. That's all I ever was. I blocked the number. Found an apartment listing in Green, 15 minutes from the shop. 1 bedroom, $800 a month. Called the landlord. Set up a viewing for Tuesday. It was time to build a life that nobody could uninvite me from. 3 weeks after moving into my apartment in Green, I got a call from my bank. Fraud department. My chest tightened before the woman even started talking. Mr. Harrington, we've detected some irregularities on your credit report. A credit card application was submitted in your name last month from a retailer in Akron. Did you authorize this? No. What retailer? Best Buy. Card was approved for $4,700. Currently has a balance of $3,200. I sat down hard in my kitchen chair. I never applied for that card. We suspected as much. The signature on the application doesn't match our records. We're opening a fraud investigation. You'll need to file a police report. After hanging up, I pulled my full credit report. There it was. Best Buy credit card. Opened 6 weeks ago. Right around the time I'd been planning the trip. Right when Bridget knew things were good between us. When she had access to all my personal documents. I called the Akron Police Department. Filed a report. The detective, a woman named Sarah Rodriguez, took my statement over the phone. Mr. Harrington, do you have any idea who might have done this? My ex-girlfriend had access to my social security number, my address, all my personal information. We were together 9 years. Do you have proof she made the purchases? Not yet, but I can find out. I called Best Buy's fraud department next. After an hour of verification and transfers, I got a list of purchases. A 65-inch TV, sound system, laptop, PlayStation 5, all delivered to Bridget's address. All purchased the week before she told me about Craig replacing me. The pieces fell into place like dominoes. She'd known she was going to cut me out. Had been preparing for it. Used my identity to get one last big score before pulling the trigger. I forwarded everything to Detective Rodriguez. Called my lawyer, Frank Douglas, who handled business disputes. Frank, I need to add identity theft to my problems. How much are we talking? $3,200 so far. Credit card fraud in my name. File the police report. Already done. What else do I need? Document everything. Keep the fraud department letters. Get copies of the purchases. If they can prove your ex made them, you've got a solid case. That evening, I drove past Bridget's house. Saw the 65-inch TV through the living room window. The one I'd supposedly bought but never seen. Took photos from the street. Documented the serial number. Was visible on the box, still sitting by the trash. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. Blake, this is Brianna. I'm using Mom's friend's phone. We need to talk about what you're doing to us. I almost deleted it. Then changed my mind. What am I doing to you? Abandoning us. Making Mom struggle. She can barely afford groceries. Brianna, your mom committed credit card fraud in my name. Bought a TV and sound system while planning to kick me out of the family. That's not me doing something to her. What are you talking about? Check the living room TV. $4,700 charged to a card she opened using my identity. I'm pressing charges. Long pause. Then, you're lying. Best Buy fraud department has the receipts. All delivered to your address. Wanting to send you copies. No response. I didn't expect one. Tuesday morning, Detective Rodriguez called back. Mr. Harrington, we confirmed the delivery address matches your ex-girlfriend's residence. We've also pulled security footage from Best Buy showing a woman matching her description making one of the purchases. We'd like to bring her in for questioning. Do whatever you need to do. This is a felony, you understand. If we charge her, she could face jail time. I thought about 9 years. About being replaced. About being used until I wasn't useful anymore. About her using my identity for one final theft. She made her choices. I'm making mine. Wednesday afternoon, Kyle showed up at my shop. Walked in with his hands in his pockets, looking uncomfortable. Blake, we need to talk. About what? About dropping the charges against my mom. She didn't mean to. She didn't mean to commit identity theft. She didn't mean to open a credit card in my name and spend $3,200. Which part was the accident, Kyle? His jaw tightened. She was desperate. She was planning. She bought that TV 2 weeks before she told me about Craig. This wasn't desperation. This was theft. So you're really going to let the cops arrest her? She could go to jail. That's what happens when you commit felonies. After everything she did for you. After everything we all did. I set down my wrench. Kyle, what exactly did you all do for me? I'm genuinely curious. Kyle stood there, mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. We let you be part of our family. Let me. I turned that over in my mind. I paid 9 years of rent, utilities, insurance, groceries, car repairs, and college tuition. And you let me be part of your family. That was the exchange. You're twisting things. I'm clarifying them. Now leave. I've got work to do. He didn't move. Blake, if you press charges, Mom loses everything. Her job, her reputation, possibly her freedom. She should have thought about that before committing fraud. Please, I'm asking you. Don't do this. Kyle, 3 weeks ago, where are my tools? He blinked at the change of subject. What? My tools. The Snap-on set. Where were they? In your garage at the house. Wrong. They were in your trunk. All $4,200 worth of professional equipment. You took them 2 weeks before the trip. Sold them on Facebook Marketplace for $1,500. I found the buyer. He still has the receipts with your name on them. Kyle's face went white. How did you? Because I'm not stupid. I documented serial numbers on every tool I owned. When they vanished, I tracked them. Found them in a guy's garage in Barberton. He showed me the Facebook messages. Your profile. Your name. Your face in the profile picture. I was going to pay you back. With what money? You needed $1,500 for what, Kyle? His eyes dropped. Poker debt. Some guys from the bar were going to hurt me if I didn't pay. So you stole from me to pay your gambling debt. Then participated in replacing me with Craig. Then stood in this shop last week telling me I'm childish for cutting you off. I made a mistake. You committed theft. Just like your mother. Seems to run in the family. Are you going to press charges against me too? I thought about it. Really thought about it. The buyer has your information. If I report it, the police will come for you. If I don't, you keep getting away with it. What should I do, Kyle? Please don't. I'll get you the money. I'll pay you back. $4,200. That's what my tools cost. You sold them for $1,500. The difference is what your theft cost me. I don't have that kind of money. Then you should start figuring out how to get it. You're 25 with a job. Time to be an adult. Kyle's hands clenched into fists. You know what? To hell with this, Blake. We took you in. Gave you a family. And this is how you repay us. Took me in. I laughed. It came out bitter. Kyle, I paid for everything. You didn't take me in. You found an ATM that looked like a boyfriend. That's all I ever was. That's not true. Then name one time you or Brianna or your mother did something for me that didn't involve my wallet. One time I needed help, and you showed up. One time any of you put me first. Silence. That's what I thought. Now get out of my shop. You've got 48 hours to bring me $4,200, or I file a police report for theft. Your choice. Kyle left. I went back to work. My hands were steady, my mind clear. That night, Detective Rodriguez called again. Mr. Harrington, we've scheduled an interview with Ms. Ramsey for Friday morning. She's been advised to bring an attorney. I wanted to give you a heads up in case she contacts you. She won't. I've blocked her number. Good. Keep it that way. Don't engage with her or her family until after the interview. Thursday morning, I got a visit from a woman I'd never seen before. Mid-40s, professional clothing, carrying a briefcase. Mr. Harrington? I'm Jennifer Cole, attorney. I represent Bridget Ramsey. I have nothing to say to you. I'd like to discuss a resolution before this goes any further. My client is willing to return the merchandise and make payments on the debt if you drop the criminal charges. Your client committed identity theft and fraud. That's a felony. No resolution. Mr. Harrington, be reasonable. Ms. Ramsey made a mistake. She has no prior criminal record. Jail time would destroy her life. She destroyed my credit, stole my identity, used me for 9 years. Where was her concern about destroying my life? If this goes to trial, it will be ugly for everyone. I'm fine with ugly. Are you? She left. I called Detective Rodriguez, told her about the contact. She said she'd note in the file. Friday morning, I didn't go to the shop. Stayed home. Waited. At 11:30, Detective Rodriguez called. Mr. Harrington, we've completed the interview. Ms. Ramsey admitted to opening the credit card using your information. She claimed she thought you wouldn't mind since you'd been supporting her financially. We're moving forward with charges. What happens now? She'll be formally charged within 48 hours. Arraignment next week. You'll need to testify if it goes to trial. I'll be there. I hung up. Sat in my apartment. Felt nothing but the quiet certainty that I'd done the right thing. Bridget's arraignment was on a Tuesday morning in Summit County Court. I sat in the back row, watching her stand before the judge with her public defender. She lost weight. Dark circles under her eyes. The burgundy blazer she wore looked too big. Judge Patricia Allen read the charges. Ms. Ramsey, you're charged with identity theft and credit card fraud, both felonies. How do you plead? Not guilty, Your Honor. Her voice was barely audible. The judge set bail at $5,000. Trial date for 6 weeks out. Outside the courthouse, Kyle was waiting. He looked at me with pure hatred. Happy now? Mom can't afford bail. She's going to sit in jail until trial. She committed felonies, Kyle. That's how the system works. You could drop the charges. Tell them you forgive her. No. Why not? What's the point of destroying her? I'm not destroying her. She destroyed herself. I'm just refusing to cover for it anymore. I walked past him to my truck. He followed. What about the tools? You said I had 48 hours. I got $2,000. It's all I could get. The tools cost $4,200. Where's the rest? I don't have it. But I'm trying, Blake. I'm trying. Then keep trying. When you have the full amount, call me. Until then, the police report stays ready to file. You're going to send me to jail too? That depends on you. I drove back to my shop. Danny was waiting with news. Boss, woman came by earlier. Said she needed to talk to you. Left a card. The card read, Melissa Hartley, victim advocate, Summit County Prosecutor's Office. I called the number. She answered on the second ring. Mr. Harrington, thank you for calling back. I'm working with the prosecutor on Ms. Ramsey's case. We'd like to meet with you before trial to prepare your testimony. I'll be there. I should also tell you, Ms. Ramsey's attorney approached us about a plea deal. They want to offer restitution in exchange for reduced charges. What did the prosecutor say? That it depends on you. You're the victim. If you're willing to accept restitution and probation instead of jail time, we can negotiate. I thought about Bridget sitting in a cell, about Kyle desperate to save his mother, about 9 years of my life funding people who'd used me without hesitation. What happens if I say no to the plea deal? We go to trial. If convicted, she faces 3 to 5 years in prison. I'll think about it. That night, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Against my better judgment, I answered. Blake, it's Brianna. Please don't hang up. What do you want? To apologize. For everything. For not seeing how he treated you. For letting Mom use you. For being part of replacing you with Craig. I was wrong. We were all wrong. Okay. Is that all you're going to say? What else is there? You apologized. I heard it. Blake, Mom's in jail. Kyle's desperate. I'm trying to hold everything together, and I can't. We need you. You need my money. Not me. That's not true. I miss you. I miss having you around. Brianna, you're 23 years old. You have a good job. You can manage without me. You just don't want to. Please drop the charges. Please let Mom come home. No. Why not? What will jail accomplish? Consequences. Your mother thought she could steal from me and face nothing. She was wrong. Now she's learning that. You're cruel. I'm fair. There's a difference. I hung up, sat in my apartment for a long time, thinking about the plea deal, about whether I wanted Bridget in prison or just wanted her to face what she'd done. Friday morning, I called Melissa Hartley back. I'll accept the plea deal under conditions. Full restitution of all money stolen, including the tools Kyle took. 5 years supervised probation, and a restraining order preventing any of them from contacting me. I'll present it to the prosecutor. If she doesn't accept those terms, we go to trial. No more negotiations. Monday, The plea deal was accepted. Bridget pled guilty to reduced charges. Sentencing in 2 weeks. The sentencing hearing was brief. Judge Allen gave Bridget 5 years supervised probation, ordered full restitution of $7,400, and approved the restraining order. Bridget stood there, signed the papers, and left with her public defender without looking at me. Kyle paid me the remaining $2,200 for the tools 2 days later. Handed me cash in my shop parking lot. Wouldn't meet my eyes. I counted it, gave him a receipt, and watched him drive away. That was the last time I saw him. The restraining order meant peace. No more calls, no more texts, no more surprise visits. The prosecutor's office had made it clear. Any contact would result in arrest. I focused on a shop, took on more work, hired another mechanic to handle the overflow. Business had actually improved since I'd stopped splitting my attention between work and managing Bridget's constant crises. 8 months after everything fell apart, I bought a house. Small place in Cuyahoga Falls, 2 bedrooms, garage, quarter-acre yard. Needed work, but I had the skills and the time. Spent weekends replacing the deck, updating the kitchen, making it mine. Jimmy came over one Saturday to help with the deck. "Blake, you seem different. Lighter, maybe. I feel different. Like I can finally breathe. You ever regret any of it? Pressing charges, cutting them off completely?" I thought about that while hammering deck boards. No, not once. They show me who they were. I finally believed them and responded accordingly. Think you'll date again? Eventually. When I'm ready. But this time, I'll know the difference between someone who wants me and someone who wants what I provide. That's a good distinction. Fall turned to winter. The shop stayed busy. I spent Christmas alone, and it didn't feel lonely. It felt peaceful. No drama, no demands, no wondering when the next crisis would require my wallet. In February, I ran into Danny's sister, Rachel, a hardware store. We met a few times over the years. She was buying paint for her apartment. "Blake, right? Danny's boss." "That's me. Need help with paint colors." She laughed. "Actually, yes. I'm terrible at this." We spent an hour talking about paint and lighting and decorating. She asked if I wanted to get coffee sometime. I said yes. The coffee turned into dinner. Dinner turned into a second date. Rachel was a teacher, independent, had her own apartment, her own car, her own life. Didn't need me to fix anything or pay for anything. Just wanted to spend time together. 3 months in, she asked about my past. I told her about Bridget, the whole story. She listened without interrupting. "That must have been incredibly difficult," she said when I finished. "It was necessary. You don't seem bitter about it." "I'm not. I learned what I won't accept. That's valuable." "What will you accept?" "Someone who chooses me. Not my wallet. Not my usefulness. Just me." She reached across the table, took my hand. "I can do that." Year and a half after leaving Bridget's house, I stood in my backyard at the house I'd bought and renovated, Rachel beside me at a small gathering. Jimmy and his family, Danny and Pete from the shop, a few other friends. Simple cookout on a Saturday afternoon. Rachel squeezed my hand. "Happy?" "Yeah," I said, looking at the life I'd built from nothing. The house that was mine. The business that was thriving. The woman who wanted me. Not what I could provide. I really am. I'd learned the hard way that you can't build a foundation on being useful. Real relationships are built on mutual respect, genuine care, and people who show up for each other. I'd finally found that, and it was worth everything I'd walked away from to get here.